Morning everyone. So what are we doing today, Trace?
So one thing we've been asked a lot while we've been travelling is people would like to have a look inside our van. Now we've been on the road about 7 weeks now,
Yeah.
and it's well lived in now. We probably should have done this before we hit the road and before we took it on the dirt and the dusty roads. But come on in and have a look anyway. So the first thing I might just point out, the best thing we've ever had. It's called a muck mat.
There we
You
go.
can get it, we've got a big one outside,
Yeah.
and we've also got this one in the step well, which is great because if it's, you pull up somewhere just to have a cup of tea or something, which we don't normally do, but you can step in here, wipe your feet, doesn't come through the van, and we're all good to go. Alright, we might start down this end. What do you reckon, Dave?
Righto.
So this is our bathroom. I'll let you in. Just a shower.
Sorry.
And a few little hacks we've done. So we bought this big bucket from Bunnings just to put our dirty washing in. And then that way if we're using the shower, we just take the bucket out, have our shower, and when we're finished, put it back in. Somewhere to put it all, it's out of the way. And if we're at a caravan park and we need to take it over somewhere, it's all together. And it's a multi-purpose bucket. I can do hand washing in it if I need to.
Yeah, which we've done. We did that out of Dell's Grove. Yeah.
We did.
Yep.
So another little thing we've done in here is we've put a little bit of pipe of the pool noodle. Just on that because it just stops it, the whole thing banging against the plastic. Because we're finding that it was actually starting to mark. Yes, we're a little bit dusty in here, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And the fusion lock. We bought one of those just to put our shampoos and body wash in. I've actually got a stubby holder sitting in here at the moment because it just stops them jumping around a bit, having been on all the corrugated roads and things like that.
We travel with that shampoo and all in there, and the fusion lock never moves.
No, it hasn't moved at all, has it?
No, it's been fantastic, yeah.
But just conscious of trying to fill holes while we're on the corrugations and dirt and dusty roads. So
another little hack, these little rubber stoppers, just when the door opens, it actually hits it. So it was just to protect it a little bit.
Bought at Bunnings as well. Bunnings has been our best friend, I think, while we've been travelling. So just your basic bathroom, cupboards, drawers, plenty of storage. In here's our washing machine. Actually, we've got a hack on the washing machine, which we'll show you.
Yeah, there's another one of those fusion locks on the wall there.
Oh, yeah, for a hand towel.
Yeah.
So our washing machine, we found 2 corrugations, not always its best friend. So we've put just some little clips either side and just a small ocky strap. It just holds the lid down because we were finding that on the corrugations the lid would pop up and the bit inside could also jump out. So it just stops it breaking. And when we did the Savannah Way, the worst corrugations we've seen, they did not miss a beat. They were perfect.
Yeah.
I know another one, another hack. Another one to stop. A lot of people say their door moves. So, yes, you get this lock, and there's one on the ground as well.
That's not very successful, that one on the ground.
So what we've done, we bought these little bits at Bunnings again, and all it does is it just unclips, and it just puts enough tension on that door to stop it from, and it can't come undone. On the corrugations, this here does tend to come undone.
Yeah, we started off by zip tying it on, but it was just impractical if you wanted to close the door, if you're in the shower or toilet or whatever. It was just impractical to put a zip tie on every time. So yeah, that seems to work well. We pop riveted our towel rail on as well, so the screws that were in this just stripped or basically fell out on the corrugation. So now I've put pop rivets in it and it seems to be
not going anywhere.
So
and another little thing we had to do, the corrugations aren't always kind to your van, but we did tape our door of our microwave just shut for now because we don't use it because we're generally free camping. We run off our own power. We generally don't plug into power, so we can't use the microwave. So we actually have just taped it shut just so that...
we did have the door come open once, didn't we, I think?
Twice, I think, and we just sort of went, you know what, before it gets damaged, let's just tape it up. I've taken everything out of it and put it under the bed just because it also wanted to jump around a bit.
Yeah.
Our fridge, I've got a few little hacks in our fridge because it's not the most...
So this is a Vitrafrigo fridge.
And we are empty because
one of us loves it.
We're about to go over to where are we going? Brisbane for a weekend. So we
and when we come back, we'll restock, ready to head over towards.
And we are going across WA, so you're not allowed any fresh fruit and veggies or anything. But we got this basket that we sit in the bottom, which puts bits and pieces in. And then we got these two. These are from Kmart, but they fit absolutely perfect. And it stops everything sliding around. And if there's any breakages in your fridge while you're travelling on the corrugated roads, it's all contained within those. It just makes it a little bit easier to clean up.
Yep.
So, one day the fridge will be full again.
Yeah.
So
you can see the dust. You still need to clean the top of the fridge. Sorry.
Don't show everyone my dust. We're well lived in now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So plenty of storage space. I mean, these have all just got food and bits and pieces in. Obviously, couch. Keep a few stubby holders and things like that under the bench there, and plenty of drawers. We had these put on as well, just so that if we are actually sitting here watching TV, which we haven't plugged our television in once,
no,
but we do quite often watch YouTube videos on the computer and things like that. So that just gives us a better option.
Yeah, yeah.
Not so bad for me. Dale has longer legs.
One other thing, so we had our USBs and stuff put underneath there because we tend to charge some stuff as we're travelling under there. A lot of people put them up above the table.
Personal preference.
Personal
really.
preference. I think next time I would actually do both because up above the table is easy to access. Underneath is good if you want to sit stuff in the shelf to charge, yeah.
And we also put a stubby holder just around the bottom of our pole, just so it's not rubbing on the cabinetry as well. Oh, we'll show everyone our map.
Oh yeah, this is our map of where we've been over the years.
We need to get our texter out because we've actually come up and done a few more roads up through here. So
maybe what we need is a red texter
for this trip.
For this trip or something like that.
So.
Oh, what about this little thing?
Oh yes. So this. So one thing we have, if you're inside and you don't want the bugs, because that's a big issue, is the bugs. All the lights in here are so white that they attract the bugs. We bought this one, and it has an orange light. And all we do at night, quite often when we come in, I just sit it here on the bench, and it sort of reflects off the splashback as well, but it just gives you a nice light.
Enough light to see stuff, doesn't it?
But it does not attract the bugs.
Yeah.
And it has been an absolute blessing in disguise, that light.
And it was a freebie when we bought something, when we bought the driving lights from Core Lighting,
Yeah, so
but,
love it.
One of the best things we've ever been given, probably. Yeah.
Orange lights are the way to go. We have them on the outside as well. So our stove, obviously under here. We, as most caravans have, your normal stove.
So normally though...
One hack we do have.
Where is that?
Here it is. So this is one problem we do have. So, you put your kettle on, you boil it, then it's hot and you've got nowhere to sit it. And as you can see, not much bench space when the stove is open. So what we actually did, we bought one of these. It's from, I got it at Harris Scarf actually. So it folds up like this. It's just a silicone, made out of silicone I think, isn't it?
Yeah, silica stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and all you do, I just stick it on the bench up here. When this is hot, I take it off, sit it on there. It doesn't burn the bench, doesn't melt that.
Yeah.
Then I can close.
So normally we've got a tea towel that sits in here too. To stop this from rattling around. This rattles around a bit when you're on dirt roads.
And all we do, I'll just show an example. We just fold it up like this, put that in there.
Yeah, and just shut that down.
And it gives it a positive lock. It can't move, and it locks all that in from rattling around. So.
We've also emptied the oven. There's nothing in the oven.
No, there's no trays because anything you can do to minimise things moving around. We don't show everyone the dust.
No, there's a little mark there from where something was rubbing early on, So
another hack we have is, one thing we find is the sink is great, but the problem with it is that when you're using your own water, you really need to be able to have minimal amount of water. So we bought one of these buckets from Bunnings and just put a little bit of water in it. Don't need as much to wash your dishes. The other thing too is if you've got a fire outside, it's actually really good that you can actually take this dirty wash up water and go and actually tip it on the fire. It just puts out your fire. So you're not using water that you might not have. So it's all just a matter of using water as much as we can.
Just grab that for a tick. I'll just shut this door. A bit noise out here.
So we also, for a fan, obviously when we're off the grid, we can't use the air conditioner. So we bought this Milwaukee Fan, and all we do with that is it runs off the...
Just a battery. I've got a little 2 amp battery that goes on it. All the batteries go on it. I could put the 12 amp on it if I wanted to, but...
And because Dale's got some tools with him, being a chippy and everything, he brought away some tools just in case we pick up some work somewhere. And so all his batteries are all interchangeable, and it's a bonus because we can now put it in this. And it just sits on the bench. It probably goes for a couple of hours, and then it actually shuts
runs for 3 or 4 hours before it goes flat, yeah.
So,
but even if we're sitting outside reading or something like that, and you just want that little bit of airflow, you just set the fan up somewhere, turn it on, it's really good.
Yeah. So just little things like, we don't use our television, but I just put a little bit of non-slip matting just over this, and all it does is it just stops it from rubbing on the walls. It's just about minimising damage and things like that. So obviously, the bed, plenty of storage space. How clean are your cupboards?
Probably good.
Not bad, we'll shut that up. Actually, another thing we'll show you guys is I bought these mats. I'll pull one out and just stick it on the floor here. I actually just got them at Woolies, but they're great. We have one either side of the bed, and it just means you can wipe your feet on it before you get in bed. Otherwise, especially out in the outback and that, we find that the dust.
Yeah.
We have a big issue with sand and dust and everything, and even just on the floor, you have your windows open and the dust just blows. It naturally comes in. So we actually use these either side of the bed. Then we can just shake them out.
Yeah, stops the sand getting in the bed. It's great. Another one up here with our scupper vent. So we've just got a bit of, it's actually return air, ducted heating return air mesh on it. So it just stops the dust coming in. It's a couple of layers thick or whatever, and yeah, because
coming on your bed too.
We travel with the scupper vent open a lot, especially on dirt. It's all the time, but yeah.
So another little, I'll show you under the bed. No judging.
Yeah, we keep it pretty simple, don't we? We've got diesel heaters underneath this side over here.
It's just bits and pieces and just trying to keep everything compacted and tight so that nothing jumps around. Let's shut that though, that's, could be a little bit neater. So another little hack we've got in this cupboard here. We have these containers. I bought these at Woolies and they're great. They fit perfectly. They're airtight, and we just put bits and pieces in there and just stops them jumping around. Grantedly, I don't fill the sugar just in case. Sometimes a little bounce off, but
it doesn't really bounce off. These clips, just one will come undone or something, won't it? But
yeah. But no,
and we found that this rack here was jumping out a little bit, so we just put an hockey strap on it. Doesn't seem to do it anymore.
Just to hold it tight, that's all.
Yeah. What about your rubbish bin? I reckon the rubbish bin's a cracker.
You love the rubbish bin.
I do, yeah.
There's just a little bin, just sits under there. We had to find something that would fit under the sink as well, so we've gone with that option.
Normally when we stop somewhere for a while, we just pull the bin out, sit on the bench, and
yeah, quite often it actually sits where the fan is at the moment. We don't get the fan out very often, but it was a very warm night last night.
What about Auntie Dawn's hack?
Oh!
We didn't believe this from my Auntie Dawn, but
Palmolive. If you wash your dishes in Palmolive, you can wash in cold water and it will still get the grease off. And surprisingly, we have not had an issue, because quite often we don't bother boiling the water because we don't want to waste the water. I might get it out of a creek or something to wash the dishes, and this has been a treat.
Yeah, it's worked really well.
What else have we got? I think that's just about it for our
things.
Yeah.
I mean, we have like our toasters. We've got a cover for our toaster and kettle, like electric kettle that we have when we're on power. It's got a cover around it usually, and yeah, little things like that just sort of help protect and whatever. We've got a dish strainer as well for when we're parked up for a week or so.
Don't always get it out, but
no.
But that is it. This is our van.
Yep, works well for us, doesn't it?
Yeah, and look, living in it full time now, plenty of room. We don't spend much time inside. We generally sit outside in the fresh air and around our fire if we can have our fire and all that. So
yeah. Well, what about your storage things in here that you got? They seem to work well too, don't they?
So, again,
we put an extra shelf in up the top.
It's about containing any spills. If you get a spill in your cupboard, there's nothing worse if the oil leaks and things like that. So again, got some containers from Bunnings and just put all of this sort of stuff in just to, if it happens to break or whatever, it doesn't really matter. You know, even imagine if you lost your Dolmio sauce all through your cupboard, you know.
Yeah, it'd be painful, wouldn't it?
And same with the, we've got a few.
Yeah, a few bottles of port and stuff in there. And yeah.
Just a little bit messy. It all needs repacking before we go.
Your potatoes down there.
Oh yeah.
So we carry our potatoes and pumpkins in a Hessian bag.
It actually.
They just keep.
We bought these potatoes about what, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago at least, and they're all still as good as they were when we bought them, but we just drop them loose in the bag and then I just sit them in the bottom of the cupboard here, and being down low too, they tend not to bounce around as much.
Yeah.
Being at ground level, so...
Right. And a cell up the top there. It works really well.
We did the thermocell, I think, on the outside.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
So, but yeah, that is it.
So that's it. Yeah.
That is our van in a nutshell. So if anyone's got any questions or anything, just feel free to ask away, and if we can help you, we can help you. But just so you know, so this is a Supreme Territory full off-road van, 20'6" inside, and absolutely wrapped with it. We went with the lithium batteries, we went with a compressor fridge so we can be fully set up off the grid. We don't need, the only issue we ever have off the grid is water, getting enough water to sort of last. So
as soon as you start showering and stuff, you seem to chew the water up.
And it's trying to, if you can find ways to minimise your showers, your water lasts longer, you don't need to worry. So, but yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
maybe a freshwater tank next time, just for some drinking water.
Maybe.
I suppose, yeah, I don't know.
We tend to buy bottled water. So.
Well, that's right, yeah.
Anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks again, and any questions, let us know.
Thanks.
Cheers.